A very good morning and welcome into the form, and a big week in front of us too as we get closer to Melbourne Cup week, and the Victorian Derby kicks off that week on Saturday with good New Zealand interest around the race with Tony Pike with Tutakaka, and we'll catch up with Tony a little bit later on to talk about his horses at Te Araha, but also closing in on that big Derby on the weekend. This is what you can expect on the form today. Great to have Tony Pike joining us to talk about not just the runners today, but looking ahead through to the weekend. Also, Tony, we'll get to Habana in race number 1. I know he's a nice 3-year-old colt by Zoostar. What did you take out of his first performance to the races?
Yeah, probably not much went his way that day, BP. He jumped away okay. We just wanted to take a sip from a whitish gate, and then he got chopped out of a gap back second last. And what turned out a very slowly run race. Sort of got flush wide on the corner, and considering how slow they're going, I thought his sectionals late were quite good. He closed off the race well, and take a lot of improvement from that too as well. I think the more racing he has, the better he's going to be. So definitely one to follow. Awkward gating in today, gate 11, but if he can get some cover and have the last crack at them, if he's learned a bit from that first up run, he should be a genuine winning chance.
And if this race is not the right option, I'm sure there's plenty of other races to look forward to over the next sort of few days.
Yeah, there's plenty of races coming up over the next couple of weeks. Obviously, weather forecasts are probably going to play a part too. There's a bit of rain sort of forecast Thursday, Friday, so we'll just assess that going forward. But there's no panic to get him going again, but he should be winning at short notice.
Move on to Remix in race number 4. He's a horse who's picked up a couple of trial victories recently. He got there by a small margin at the recent trials in the Cambridge Synthetic on the 13th of October. What have you made of this son of Darcy Brahma?
I think he's actually quite a nice middle distance horse going forward, BP. Very relaxed customer around the stables, and even in his barrier trials, if you watch his trials, he hardly touches the bridle at all. He's very relaxed in the run and only probably does what's asked of him. So I think he's only going to improve. We put the blinkers on for his debut performance, and I think he'll go close first up, but definitely one to follow, possibly as he gets to a mile and even 2,000 metres a bit later on.
Race 8, Lady Prasia. She's a horse that has been placed in her recent trials. She's a daughter of Prasia. She was a horse who was beaten a couple of lengths when the leader really got away on them in that particular trial. What do you make of her? Yeah,
nice big filly, BP. She's got lovely action on her. She's another one that's probably looking to get over a little bit of a trip later on. She'll take good improvement out of her debut run, and although she probably can't win on debut, I think she'll run a really nice race and definitely one to follow over the next couple of starts once she possibly gets up to 1,400 metres in the mile.
2 in race 9, first of all, Dark Satin, just behind the first 3 in that recent trial on the 13th of October.
Yeah, not an overly big filly, which is very genuine. She won a couple of placings in the last preparation. Seemed to have come back a bit stronger. Wide draw tomorrow is a bit of an issue. We'll just make a call on that, whether she runs, but she'll pick up a race shortly. Maybe not a winning chance on debut, but there's going to be plenty of options for her over the Christmas New Year period.
And what about Honey, a horse who was slow away in that recent trial, but did well to make up the right ground and finish into 3rd position?
Yeah, filly I quite like. She's got a bit of character about her, and she had 2 good runs last preparation. Possibly could need tomorrow's run, but she's drawn to get a soft trip in gate 6, and wouldn't surprise me to see her going close fresh up.
Okay, let's move domestically for the weekend. What are we expecting to see from the stable over the next couple of days?
Look, we've got 4 entered for Tauranga on Saturday. Misadaki's jumping up and trip, and any rain that's around about will definitely suit her. I think she'll be a quick improver. Just trying to think what else we've got too. Lady Prasia, she's entered for Tauranga as well, just because of the wide gate. We'll make a call on that but later on.
Magic Show?
Magic Show, yep. She's drawn gate 2. Very obviously smart Palamos filly. She was good on the synthetic, but her speed ratings that day were very good as well. So she's probably the best chance here on Saturday. Just whether she handles a rain-affected track. If they do get a lot of rain, it's a little bit of a question mark, but very talented filly and definitely one to watch and follow.
Yeah, Awapuni River Running after party?
Yeah, just threw a nomination in. Just have a look at the cup race down there for River Run. Obviously, on 53 kilos, it was just getting a bit difficult to find the right jockey, so we'll keep him and head to Te Rapa next Saturday for the Open 2100 metre race.
Okay, then well, let's touch on the weekend and, of course, Saturday with Tutakaka. Really going into the Vic Derby with the right performance under the belt that you were looking for, I'm sure, and everything went your way in the Geelong Classic. Perfect preparation now off the back of that win, so everything looks to be in place.
Yeah, couldn't be happier, BP. Everything seems to be falling in place and peaking at the right time. We missed a barrier trial with the COVID restrictions before he went over, so probably just on the back foot a wee bit of his first two runs. I think Frosty sort of didn't quite get it right at his second start there. Just gave him a dig to cross a couple coming out the gates with the blinkers on and didn't get cover and really just pulled himself into the ground. So it was good to see him relax as well as he did the other day. Admittedly, they were going strong tempo, but I think he'll switch off nicely in the Derby once he gets cover. And obviously he should relish the trip running at a pretty strong 2200 in the Geelong Classic. So no, he's in it with a big chance. Obviously, they say this race, the Geelong Classic's normally not the main lead-up form through, but it seems to be coming from everywhere this year. And I just know that we've got him peaking at the right time, and we've always sort of had this grand final in mind from a long way out. So it's good to get here in sort of good form and in one piece, and I'm sure he'll run well.
Well, certainly. And look, it's a race that I know you've had a couple of shots at, and I remember the year with Sacred Elixir going in as one of the favourites. So, look, how do you sort of see this bloke overall? I know that this has been a race that's been in mind even when you went to Brisbane as that late 2-year-old.
Yeah, look, Sacred Elixir probably just had that little bit more brilliance, obviously, in earlier 2-year-old form, and probably had a few more runs on the board and a bit more experienced as well when he did head down to Melbourne. Obviously, Tutakaka, that Brisbane trip really made him, but he's definitely not the finished product yet. Even Frosty said in the Geelong Classic, he said he's probably going to win by 4 or 5, but he just sort of got to the front and just wanted to have a look around and float a wee bit. So he said, there was still plenty under the tank. He pricked his ears on the line. So if he's just taken a little bit of race day experience improvement out of that, then obviously he's going to be very hard to beat on Saturday.
Well, let's move to Cup Week in Christchurch, because when Melbourne Cup Week is close, it means Cup Week in Christchurch is knocking on the door too, and strong chances for you in both the Guineas races. Just touching on There You Go, first of all, how's her progress going towards that, of course, off the back of what she was able to do at Ashburton?
Yeah, she's actually thriving down there, VP. Dean sent the weights through yesterday, and she just keeps putting on weight each week she's down there, so she's doing really, really well. So we'll give her a gallop on probably on Saturday morning, and then she'll head to the Ashburton trials on the Thursday, 10 days out from the Guineas, and just use that as a nice pipe opener, obviously for the grand final on Saturday after.
Chanel, what about her?
Yeah, look, she had a pretty torrid run in the Barneswood Farm Stakes. Obviously, she's probably not at this stage quite as good as There You Go, but I think just ridden a touch quieter in the Guineas, she could sneak a place. She'll do the same program. She'll head to the Ashburton trials as well, and she'll run the 1,000 Guineas. And yeah, as I say, we'll just ride her that touch quieter, and if she could run third or fourth for the Oaks, that'd be great.
Let's move on to the 2,000 Guineas now, and of course we saw Field of Gold beaten in the Watercree Stakes. That was over 1,600 metres. What did you make of his run?
Yeah, look, I had a good talk to Cozzy yesterday, actually, when he was up for the Cambridge trials, and yeah, he probably just drilled him out of the gates. So I was a little bit disappointed in his ride, to be honest. He sort of put his hand up afterwards as well. He'd had a bit of a shocker on London bound, and I think he just came out a bit too positive on Field of Gold. He was really aggressive out of the gates, and just probably got travelling too keen. And he managed to front very early in the Riccarton, which for a horse like him is not ideal. He had a good look around, as he always does. He's definitely better with a target. So I'm not. I think we can turn the tables on Novia. We'll probably just ride him, maybe just a spot further back in the Guineas. And I think if he's got a target to chase down the Riccarton Straight, I think he's going to be a lot harder to beat.
Yeah, okay. Kufu now, this horse was down to run on Monday. Just what's happening with him? Yeah,
look, just running out of time. Unfortunately, he had a stone bruise over the weekend. He galloped Saturday morning, worked fine, and then we tried him up Saturday afternoon, and he was quite off in his near fall. So that was poulticed over the weekend, and look, we've resolved the problem pretty quickly, but we're just running out of time, unfortunately, to get to the Guineas. We did contemplate about running at Te Rapa on Tuesday and possibly backing up on the Saturday, but I think it's just a bit too much to ask of him. So he'll probably have 10 days, 2 weeks in the paddock, and we'll try and get him ready for the Crack a Million Mile at LSE over sale time.
All right, Copeland's Mile, Tell All, and Dawn Parade. I do see Dawn Parade's down to run on Sunday at Ashburton.
Yeah, he should have won last start. Gosen, I think, got a week, got 7 days for that. He just put him through the running rail and took a spot. He had a lovely trip to the trial and a spot further back and closed the race off really well. Obviously, he needed to win that probably to guarantee his start in the Copelands. So he'll go around Sunday at Ashburton, and hopefully he wins on Sunday. Can just get a few more ratings points to sneak him into the race. He's not without a chance off a lightweight in a race like that.
Yeah, and Tell-All?
I'll tell all he'll run at Te Rapa on Cup Day, the Open 1400 metre race. Obviously, depending on how he goes, and then I'll have a chat with John whether he heads on down. But I think we're more leaning to keeping him to hopefully going back to Ellerslie for a ritual mile or something like that. He's a horse that's always performed very well up there.
Okay, and of course, Providence Provides is nominated for the Copelands also. Are you leaning towards that, or more so the middle day and possibly the Valachi Downs race?
Yeah, probably the middle day and Valachi Downs race. We'll just assess that as we go through. Should need a fair few to pull out to get a run in that race. So, yeah, she'll run probably on the first day, and then we'll make a decision on the Valachi race after that.
Right, and of course on Labour Day Monday, then the James and Annie Sarton, you were able to win with Paranui Bay. Look, he's 2 from 2 now. Look, unfortunately, you couldn't take your spot in the 2,000 guineas. So what is the plan with him going forward now?
Yeah, like having actually dinner with or having a barbecue at Brent's and Cherries tonight, so we'll probably run through a few programs going forward. Yeah, he's a super talented horse. Probably silver lining is, he's obviously on his first preparation, and I think he would have been hugely competitive in the Guineas, but we might just look at giving him a short sort of 10-2-week break. We'll probably map out a program towards the Lavina Classic. And as I said to Brent, I think he's a horse that could possibly be good enough to head to Sydney in the autumn.
Yeah, okay, right. We've spoken about a lot of horses there, Tony, coming up. Is there one for the weekend, say from Thursday through to Sunday, that we can maybe have a bet on?
No, I think there's one that's going to be a big value for probably one of mine, probably be 10 to 1 or more. Miss Anaki, she's jumping from 1,400 to 2,100, but if the rain arrives at Tauranga on her work over the last couple of days, I think she could be a big chance at very big odds.
All right, Tony, thanks for your time as always, and all the best over what looks to be a big weekend for the team.
Thanks, BP.
Joined by Jamie Richards now to chat about the team, and we'll get straight into it. Jamie, race number 1, couple of runners. Ragamuffin, first of all, what have you made of his trials?
Yeah, he's been going along nicely. Quite a keen sort of horse that wants to get right on with the job. So, got the 1,000 metres at suit him, up and behind the speed from a good gate. Got to be a nice chance.
Espionage was in that same trial and certainly caught the eye with what he was able to do when only just going under and finishing second.
Yeah, he's a nice colt. We've got a lot of time for him. He is probably going to find the 1,000 a touch short, but we thought it was a nice place to kick him off. He'll be midfield or a touch worse and get to the outside in the straight, and he can finish off nicely. My only concern, as I sort of said to the owners there, was that he hasn't had a right-handed trial. And going to the races without a right-handed trial. Some horses can cop it, some horses can't, but something to just bear in mind. But I'm picking that he should be able to handle it.
All right, move on to race number 2. You got Mohawk Brave, certainly to the eye with what he did. He was able to leap down from back in the field and pick them up nicely. Yeah,
his trials have been good. And Palamos has been riding him well and sticks with him. Gets given an opportunity on a nice horse here. His trials have been, encouraging, as you say. I just hope that he doesn't get as far back as he has been in his trials as he does in his race there tomorrow. Hopefully we can sort of be midfield, but I'm sure that he can really hit the line strongly.
Pisco Sour also in the race, a 3-year-old filly. This is a horse who was beaten most recent in the trials a couple of lengths, finished second, beaten a length or so. What do you make of her?
Yeah, she's a filly that's taken a little while to strengthen and come to it, but she is getting there now. We'll grab a jockey for her in the morning once a few scratchings and stuff come out, but our intention is to run her. She's probably going to be midfield there somewhere with a bit of cover as well and hitting the line strongly. She's got a nice pedigree and hopefully she can get through the grades.
Race number 4, the Maiden over 1,400 metres. You've got Amalfi Prince here, a horse who got back and was working home, and the horse who won that race. Image of You's gone on to run second in a 65.
Yeah, really happy with him. He's a nice horse with spaces, runs out a little bit. Joe rode him well at Taupo and it sticks with him from a good gate. I think he's probably our best chance of the day.
Oh, can he use that barrier draw?
Absolutely.
All right, then. What about Burgundy Rose, your last few runners, and race number 7, a horse who lines up in the 74? She's a 5-win mare from start 17 with a couple of kilos coming off with Joe doing the riding.
Yeah, she's a good, honest mare. She's running as good as she can, but she's just sort of found her spot in the ratings where she's carrying a lot of weight in 74s, and she's just not quite good enough for the open handicap. So tomorrow's sort of D-Day for her. She could run 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th for the rest of the year, but she's not paying her way. So we'll see how we get on with her tomorrow, but she'll either run well and run in the top 3, or she'll be off to the broodmare paddock.
Okay, then. So overall, the best of your runners there tomorrow?
I think in Malfi Prince, he's got the race day experience on the board. Good draw. Been impressed with how he's come through that run. So hopefully won't make a liar out of me, and we'll run well.
Just looking towards the weekend, Jamie, 2 domestic meetings Saturday, and also you've got a runner at Ashburton on Sunday and Synchronise. What are the horses we need to look out for over the weekend?
So we've got a few there for Taranaki Friday as well, but they're expecting rain, so they might not be going too far from home. Tauranga looks like it could be wet as well. So I think one filly that I am looking forward to seeing race on Sunday is Synchronise. She's in at Ashburton. She was going to back up into the stakes race at Ashburton, the old Ray Copeland there, the Barneswood Farm Stakes, and just got held up a little bit. So we've gone to a 74, which isn't ideal for 3-year-olds, but it does give her a nice lead into the 1,000 Guineas, all going well. We think she's that sort of filly, and hopefully she can cement her spot in the 1,000 Guineas by running well at Ashburton on Sunday.
Let's jump to Flemington now. Amaralina makes her way to Melbourne. Looked again, luck's a fortune, and we've seen that you didn't quite get that on the weekend in those big races, and she hasn't really had it in her 2 Sydney starts either.
No, she hasn't. She's been luckless. Got shuffled up in her first start, and then got caught 3 deep without any cover, and with the big weight last time. So we're sticking with her. She is a good mare. She just needs a little bit of luck. Hopefully we can see her draw a barrier there at Flemington on Saturday. I think the mile, big roomy track. Everything looks like it, should line up well. I took a good bit of confidence that James said he wanted to stick with her. And she's settled in well. She worked well there on the course proper on Tuesday morning with Carnival, and everything's gone according to plan. So it's a really good field this year. Nowhere to hide with horses like Tefane and Hungry Heart, and there's a good bit of depth to that race. So it's going to be interesting to see how she fronts up under the under that weight for age scale.
And also you've got Sort of State lining up in the Cornwall.
Yeah, he'll run there. He jumped out on the course proper there last Friday. Jumped out and won his heat. We asked him to do a little bit. The others were still on the bridle behind him, but gave us a bit of confidence to have a crack. We've been behind the 8 ball with him all preparation in terms of his fitness. Feel like we're starting to get somewhere there, close to it now, but there's nowhere to hide from on Saturday. It's a great field, big field. He'll go forward and put himself in the race for a long way. Whether he's good enough, we'll find out on Saturday. But I think he deserves a spot after the way that he jumped out and the work that he did on Tuesday morning.
Let's just touch on now the New Zealand Cup Week Carnival. 2,000 Guineas. We saw Novia really put his hand up by winning the War Decree Stakes. Everything you were looking for, I'm sure, with his victory over the 1,600 metres, and is now the favourite for that race. You must have been really pleased with his progress.
Yeah, really happy with him. I think everything's gone the right way. Sam Burgesson and the guys down there have done a wonderful job. So, yeah, we just wanted to sort of keep him at Riccarton. 3 weeks between his last 2 runs, 2 weeks into the Guineas, similar conditions. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. He won't need to do too much. He'll just do a little bit of light work on Saturday and have a nice gallop on Tuesday, and he's ready. But he's a colt that's coming to him well. I think he's appreciated getting out to the mile, and with a bit of racing, getting a bit deeper into his preparation, I think he's sort of settling into being a racehorse instead of a bit of a lad, which is really encouraging.
Now, we saw Zaitaku win on Monday. Is he a horse of making his way down to Christchurch?
No, we've just taken him out and put him in the paddock this morning. Just going to take it easy with him. We're going to try and sort of replicate what we did with Brando last year, and that's sort of get him ready for the Uncle Remus. And then he would have gone to the Levin Classic, but they have moved that now. So maybe Uncle Remus, Wellington Guineas, something like that. But he'll have a week in the paddock, and then he'll go to a 3-year-old 1,200 at Te Rapa and then into Boxing Day.
Okay, and just an update on Palamos.
Palamos is more than likely going to have a bit of a break. I do believe the horse is a sprinter, might be just a 6-furlong horse, but I'm just waiting on a bit of confirmation from his ownership group there. So he won't be going to Riccarton. It'll just be Novia and I Wish I Won for us in the 2000 Guineas.
Yeah, and how about him? How's he coming through off the back of his Barneswood Farm defeat?
Yeah, he's going well. He got no luck in running there the other day. Got shunted wide on the corner. But he kept up a good gallop. A little while between races. I think his fitness will, really be peaking there next Saturday. Craig's going to jump back aboard him, knows him well. So he's got a few things in his corner. He hasn't won a race in a little while, but I think with a little bit of luck in running and a soft draw, he's got to be a nice each way chance.
Well, 1,000 Guineas, there's a lot of options here. Let's first of all talk about what we saw on the weekend. Imperatriz winning very well after missing the start, and Ballon Rouge running a very good race too in the similar race in the soliloquy.
Yeah, both of those fillies went well. Imperatriz sort of bombed the start a little bit and did a bit of work to sort of regain her spot, and then sprinted and was looking for the winning post, no doubt about that. But she was a little while between runs. I think she'll strip a bit fitter again there for the 1,000 Guineas, and the intention is that she goes down. We'll see if she's going to run out a mile. We've had a few question marks in the back of our mind, but she's only 3 once. They don't get an opportunity very often to run in a Group 1 against their own sex. So we're going to give her a crack and see how she handles it.
The Perfect Pink was also in the soliloquy stakes. What's the plan with her?
Yeah, the Perfect Pink will go down. Happy with her. I think she's going to love the big roomy track. She's going to love the step up to a mile. She might be a preparation away from it, from being proper top class, but still very pleased with the way that she went, and she deserves her opportunity as well. So yeah, she'll go down and love the trip. And sorry, I meant to touch on Ballon Rouge. She will go down as well. She ran really well there. Took that step up from that Taupo Maiden to get a bit of black type. And as long as she does well through the week, all 3 of those will be flying down.
And of course, already at Riccarton and one on the weekend just gone, Irish Red and Shepherd's Delight.
Yeah, we're just going to sort of see how they come through the rest of the week. Our intention is to run both of them as well if we can. They've gone down there chasing black type. Irish Red was able to pick up some in the Canterbury Bell and deserves her chance after the way that she won. And Shepherd's Delight just got held up by missing a run at her first sort of start down there, but won well, and we'll try and push on there if we can. So could have a handful on that race, but we'll just sort of see how the next week goes.
Copeland's Mile, Marcus Aurelius.
Yes, going well. Had a good preparation without winning. Hopefully, sort of gets in there with a nice weight. I think he'll be our only runner, with the preference that Mai Tai and Brando probably both stay north. Just always a question mark in the back of your mind taking a colt like Brando to the South Island off the back of an ordinary run like that. I think that was just a bit of second up stuff going on there, hopefully, but we might just find an easier race and try and concentrate on the Captain Cook with those other 2.
Yeah, Mai Tai was nice on the weekend, Jamie, and it really looks like a good races in front of her.
Yeah, so she'll either run in the Open 14 or go to the Tauranga Stakes on the 13th, and then go down to Wellington with the Captain Cook all going well. But I was impressed with the way that she won. She didn't have any luck at all first up, but yeah, she was promising more stakes winner last year, and hopefully more this season.
Well, Jamie, thanks for the update on the team of runners heading towards Cup Week out of the Project, and of course the team of runners over the weekend. Go well.
Thank you.
Big thanks to our guests coming on the show this morning on The Form. Another big show coming up tomorrow where Emily Boston will be running the cutter. We'll catch you next time.